Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Wednesday, August the 2nd, 2023. Wednesday, August the 2nd. Well, we got Jack and Diane. Diane still laying in the bed, and Jack, of course, comes in with the breakfast tray for her with the red rose on it. No, so romantic. And they start kissing, but they got to get to work, get their day started, yada, yada, yada. And then it shows. Oh, you know what? If you have y'all noticed, they started doing filler flashbacks so that the writers have to write less. Remember during COVID, we had a lot of flashback scenes. Well, this today's flashback was Devon remembering having a conversation with Catherine about Tucker when Tucker came back into his life at one point, and I guess wanted him to work for him. And Devon was working for Jabot at the time. I didn't even know he was working at. I don't remember him working at Jabot. But anyway, he was saying, telling Catherine, you're forever giving, letting Tucker in, giving him the benefit of the doubt. And so Catherine said, you know what? Because I want to believe people can change. He says he wants to change, and I want to believe him. He says, see, Devon, at the end of the day, because he goes, I said some pretty harsh words to Tucker, but he goes, Devon, at the end of the day, you must back family. And Tucker is family. Now, remember, Catherine didn't find out about him until he was an adult, right? Only soap operas. Women have babies and kids and don't know they had them. Okay, go figure, right? So anyway, and if anybody can remember in Comic Cornerland, what was the reason Catherine didn't know she had an adult son out there? Because remember, that was during the period Jill thought she was Catherine's long lost child, right? So anyway, that was a flashback because Devon is really, really starting to like having Tucker around. And he's starting to let his guard down and he's worried. So that kind of caused him to have that flashback. So then we have Tucker and Ashley. They decided they spent the night at the athletic club. They didn't go home. Ashley tells him, because she was already dressed and Tucker came out the bathroom, that last night or the early this morning, she came to an epiphany and she's given up on the vendetta against Jack and Diane. She's done with that bitterness and that anger. And Tucker looked at her and goes, wait, what? She goes, it's just, I'm done. I'm going to let Diane implode, period. And Tucker's like, oh my God, thank you. Because it's wearing on him, right? And she's looking like, oh, stop it. No, Ashley, ain't no stop it. It's making everybody see you and want to do a U-turn, period. We go from Phyllis, they did the whatever writing they did for Phyllis with her ranting and raving about Diane. Then when they did her storyline with Stark, they gave all those lines to you, Ashley. And it's just disgusting. I'm sick of it. So then they go and they have downstairs and they're talking about, okay, but are we going to go on with our plan with Billy? Because they still want someone like on the inside to let them know what's going on. But you know what? They don't need anybody on the inside. Just do your business, run your business. You're saying Diane's going to self-destruct. You guys don't know about it. You hear about it. You live in the same house. Period. The leaks will come out about what went wrong at work. So anyway, Billy shows up because guess what? Billy is come to put his plan into action because he had already met with Jack and Diane at the house. And so he called the athletic club to find out was his sister there. And he goes, this is Billy Abbott. I'm looking for my sister Ashley Abbott. Is she there? Well, my whole thing is people don't give out private information like that. They shouldn't. I don't know who that employee was. So they goes, yeah, she's here. She's in the dining room. He goes, great. He goes, no, they said, would you like us to give you a message or me to give her a message? He goes, no, I'm on my way. So he walks in and acts like he doesn't see him and goes straight to the bar. And she goes, Billy. come join me, Billy. And he looks at her and he comes over, not eagerly. He just looks at her and comes over. And Tucker says, listen, I'm late for my meeting with Devon and Dominic. And so she goes, give my grandson a kiss from me. And he will give our grandson a kiss from me. And he says, I will. So he leaves and Billy sits down and Ashley says, so after what happened here last night, and I know how you feel. So what are we going to do about Jack? And he goes, Ashley, I don't know what you mean. What are we going to do about Jack? And he says, well, what do you plan on doing about Jack? And Ashley tells him, look, Diane is going to implode. The company is going to start failing. And we're going to be around to pick up the pieces, pennies on the dollar, and the employees, and then restore our father's company back to glory. And Billy says, you're going to do all that? She goes, yeah. He goes, Diane is going to fail. She's unqualified at what she's doing. And so she goes, but you know what? And he goes, well, he says something. She goes, no, you know what? You're in a unique position. And he says, and how is that? How do you figure that? She says, you're still there. She goes, you and Jack may have had an argument last night, but you've had worse. You're still on the end. I need you to continue to be there and let us know. He goes, you want me to spy on Jack? And she goes, no, not spy, just, bottom line, give Diane little nudges, nudge her to fail, not spy. So he says, I don't know, Ashley. I don't know. I got to think about this, which is good. He didn't look like he was too eager to want to do something like that. So he leaves and Tucker comes back after the visit and he goes, how'd it go with Billy? She goes, he's thinking about it. He didn't commit. I don't know if he is going to come in with us or not, but ball's in his court. So we have Chance just shows up at the coffee house with picnic basket that he had all packed with all kinds of these little picnic delicacies. Now, yeah, one summer and not summer, Abby and Chance had one picnic at the park. Well, maybe it was an anniversary or something special. They did have a picnic at the park, and I can't remember who planned it. I think Chance may have planned that too. I guess he's that picnic planner kind of man, right? Because most men aren't, and that's the truth. Most men aren't. I think I'm gonna pack a lovely picnic basket and take my sweetheart Jennifer to the park. Most men don't do that, but in soaps, men do the most romantic things on the planet, don't they? Because they're writing soaps for women, and they're trying to write men the way we would want our man to be. Well, look, make them realistic. Well, nowadays they are very realistic because with the crashes and burns that Billy has done, he's a very realistic man, right? Absolutely he is. But anyway, so Sharon had came into the coffee house. She's rushing and her cheeks looked awfully stiff and puffy today. I don't know what was going on. And so she's rushing out with her tablet and he's coming in with the picnic basket. And she's like, oh, hey, Chance. Oh, you got a picnic basket? What's going on? And he goes, I know I was taking a chance showing up like this. I was hoping you could go out. We could have a picnic on the park. And she goes, oh, look, I wish I could, but I'm only here because I left my tablet here last night. And I'm headed out for a meeting with Adam. So I'm sorry, but I would love to have spent some time with you. So she kisses him goodbye and she goes off. So he sits the basket on the table at Crimson Lights. And then, of course, guess who comes in? Can anybody guess? Summer, of course. And she goes, well, what's going on here? This looks like a lot of food. And she's looking off for a picnic for one. He goes, yeah, just didn't work out. The person I had it planned for, just didn't work out. And he goes, hey, you hungry? And he goes, you got any minutes? You got some time? She goes, yeah, you know what? I got a little time. Because she had just left Jabot because she was talking to Diane and Jack in the little boardroom. Diane got her all these applications just spread on out because see, she don't want to do stuff in the CTO's office and make decisions on her own because she's qualified, right? She got to spread all the stuff out. And really pretty much Jack is there helping her. Come on now. I would rather have seen him sitting behind his desk and her sitting across, in his office at the table doing that versus there. So anyway, she ends up leaving because she said she had just visited Harrison. This is Summer talking to this morning. And she said, Harrison says that Kyle is out of town. Did you two know about that? And so Diane says, yeah, he went, or Jack says, yeah, he's out of town with Audra for Newman, and she goes, of course he is. And so Jack goes, no, but it's business. And so Summer says, no, they're not. They are together. They're sleeping together. And Jack says, Summer, I would not go to that conclusion. So she goes, I'm not going to that conclusion. She says, Kyle told me himself they are. And Jack was hit in the face, and Diane wasn't, because remember, Diane was home when Summer said, I smell perfume on you, and the way he walked off. And then she had a talk with Kyle. So Diane was not surprised. And so Summer's like, you know what, I got to get to work. I got to go and work with marketing on the press release or whatever for Chelsea. So she leaves, but then she's like, I got to get out of here. That's when she went to Crimson Lights and ran into Chance. So Chance talks her, no, she goes, yeah, I do have a minute. So they go to the park and they're sitting on the blanket. She wasn't hungry. She wasn't eating, but he was nibbling on stuff in there, and they had their coffee and they were just talking, yada, yada, talking like friends. But Summer was just the way she's leaning. She's getting used to seeing this side of Chance. Like, oh, wow, okay. And she's going to latch on, like glam on, because she's heard over Kyle. So they were sitting there talking, and as soon enough, you see this red dress walking from behind around. I said, uh-oh, there goes Sharon. So she comes walking up, and Chance sees her. He goes, Sharon. And he stands up. And so you can tell, he was genuinely happy to see her. He goes, what happened to your meeting? And she says, well, I told Adam we need to push our meeting back a little bit later because I had someplace I needed to be. She goes, I really wanted to come here and have this picnic with you. And Summer's still sitting down there. She's just looking up at him, right? And so she goes, but I see Summer's taking my place. And so Chance is like, he's looking down at Summer like, you can get lost. You're looking down at Summer. And so Summer says, I've got to get back to work anyway. And so she goes, look, I'm sure Chance's idea of a picnic lunch for two is more than enough food for you, Summer, if you want to stay. She goes, no, I have to get back to work. So Summer gets up and Sharon sits down, and Chance is so happy. Oh, he's talking to Sharon, and Summer's kind of off to the side, and she's looking at the two of them. And I thought, okay, I could tell you right now what's getting ready to happen. Summer's going to start setting her sights on Chance, and she's going to try to get in the middle of him and Sharon. Right? Because Chance is always saying, look, remember, if you need to talk, I'm always here to talk to you. Oh, she's going to abuse that. So Sharon sits down, she and Chance start talking, and then, they end up having a, kissing, and they're kissy face now. That's their whole thing is kissing, and soon enough, always in the sack. But Summer ends up going back to Jabot, and she tells Jack, here's the finalized press release. I want to make sure I get your approval on it before I release it. And see, she ain't talking to Diane, who's supposed to be over hiring, right? Because Summer says, no, I'll do my own hiring. And Jack looks it over. He goes, it looks good. And so he goes, Summer, are you all right? And Diane says, you know, we're here if you need anything. And she goes, you know, I'm not all right, but I will be. She said, Kyle has chosen to move on. So now I'm going to do the same. And she turns and she walks out the little boardroom office. And Jack looks and he looks at Diane and he goes, I thought they would be able to work through this, but I guess not. And see, when Summer was talking about, I'll be moving on as well, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, she thinking Chance. See, she wants Chance now. And she's going to play games to get him. And you know what? Unfortunately, he'll probably fall. For Summer, her woe is me act. You know, I need a friend. Because, you know, Summer, she's talking and she look up. You paying attention? Anyway, let's go to Comic Corner. Comic Corner. Oh, Lisa, you put this one in the wrong comments about Elizabeth. I guess it's her anniversary on General Hospital. LaShuns says, Ashley doesn't want to marry Tucker McCall. No, she does not. And I think now that Jack and Diane went and got married, which took the thunder out of Tucker and Ashley's wedding, because remember, Ashley was going to do it first. I think she's going to stall. And she's going to push Tucker into revenge. And then LaShunta says, Lily and Daniel are boring. Abby doesn't want to marry Tucker. You mean Ashley doesn't want to marry Tucker? I hate all this drama. Eating Ashley alive. Tucker's gonna turn on her. Watch. Yes, she is. I like Chance and Summer as friends. But I think she likes him. He's a cop, Summer. Yeah, he is a cop, but you know what? That cop has not been acting so cop-like to me, if you ask me. And then there was one last scene that was so interesting to me. I guess Adam works fast, doesn't he, everybody? Right? Christine is saying something to Phyllis in, oh, no, that was some scenes. I saw some scenes on the internet, scenes from what's going to happen. So I'm going to save that till it happens. I'm going to save that. So anyway, everybody, that's it. Thanks for Comic Corner. I will be back tomorrow for another daily recap of The Young and the Restless.